top of the world, at the end of the world. Just counting down the hours before I set sail to the white continent aboard the Sea Spirit. Welcome to Plush Places, I'm Rahul Jagtiani, and I'm going to show you Antarctica the only way that I can. The plush way. Getting to Antarctica is a mission by itself. After a long flight to Buenos Aires in Argentina, I took another flight to Ushuaia, known to be the southernmost city in the world, where I couldn't wait to check into the plush Araku Resort and Spa. Overlooking the Beagle Channel and 800 meters above sea level, this contemporary hotel offers stunning views all around and is the most exclusive spot in town before you embark on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. I guess we all gotta live a little, right? The next afternoon, I was stoked to finally board the Sea Spirit with Poseidon Expeditions as our crew welcomed us warmly. Given that this selective bunch of people from around the world was soon gonna be explorers, meant to slum it out on this giant landmass of ice, I was pleasantly surprised with our superior level of comfort. Well-appointed wooden paneled suites with warm beds to tuck into, a briefing room where we got the lowdown for the day, a lounge to let our hair down, an outdoor deck with a jacuzzi, and a cozy restaurant meant that we had come a long way from the days of the world-famous Antarctic explorer Ernest Shackleton and his crew. Once settled in, we set sail on the calm waters of the Beagle Channel and prepped ourselves for the 2-day, 1,000-kilometer journey across the infamous Drake Passage, where the Pacific, Atlantic, and the Southern Seas converge, making it one of the roughest sea passages in the world. If you're really lucky, you would experience the Drake Lake, where the seas are calm and the journey is smooth. But hey, if Lady Luck isn't on your side, then you experience the Drake Shake, which means with 30 feet high waves, you could get tossed around a bit like you're stuck in a washing machine, and you may just regret that extra helping of dessert. Anyway, nothing that a seasickness pill can't fix. The most exhilarating moment for me was when I first spotted land. After a couple of long international flights, a domestic flight, 2 days across the roughest sea, and a few spilled drinks later, I had arrived in Antarctica, the frozen continent. This calls for a celebration, right? A nice lunch on the outdoor deck, and we were ready for our first landing on Antarctic soil. We're at H.O. Island. It's our first stop in Antarctica, and the first time most of us are seeing penguins. I just couldn't get enough of these. I mean, look how adorable they are. And kept clicking away, especially as one walked right up to me. Our next stop was Deception Island, an active volcano and also perhaps the strangest. You don't quite picture black ash beaches with hot thermal springs when you think of the white continent. Rust-colored boilers used to extract whale oil, and abandoned wooden huts from the mid-20th century gave it a bit of that ghost town look. Life on an Antarctic cruise is socially busy. With just over 100 people on this expedition and no Wi-Fi, all of us disconnected from the world and connected with each other. Someone or the other was always up for a drink or a chat. Our days would start with a briefing and some important lessons, and with this we felt safer, more informed, and prepared for our daily adventures. We usually made at least a couple of landings a day, where we got off the expedition cruise and onto Zodiacs to get to land. One of our experiences involved zipping around Sierra Cove marveling at the jaw-dropping size of these chunks of ice in complete amazement. This alone made the trip totally worth it. In spite of so much natural beauty, some guys were hungry for more. Like my buddy Will, who found a small chunk of ice to be a perfectly good midday snack. Or Dave, Iceman of the Antarctic.
Tonight, we drink from the belly of Antarctica. An ice piece from the glaciers. Oh yeah!
In the evenings, dinner time was always a riot, as invariably we had a couple celebrate their anniversary, or people celebrating birthdays. With cuisines from around the world, food coma was a daily occurrence. Some of us would then show off our singing skills, or swap stories over a single malt on the rocks, as Dave mentioned, straight from the belly of Antarctica. The best seat on the cruise, however, was always outdoors on the viewing deck, especially as our captain deftly guided our cruise through the narrow Le Maire Channel. With gorgeous scenery in front of us and the skies providing a dramatic cover, it was almost impossible to take a bad picture. From top of a hill or from the bottom, these were moments to be savored. So we're here, we're at Portal Point. I'm standing on a glacier and we've been on the island so far, and now we're finally on the peninsula. There are some happy campers back there and we're gonna be there tomorrow. But for now, we're just gonna enjoy this gorgeous view. After my buddies told me about the camping experience, I couldn't be left too far behind. So a bunch of us signed up and had a Zodiac take us to the camping site, which involved us digging up a pit for us to put our sleeping bags in. This was hard work. I clearly struggled, while another couple built themselves a nice little house. Spending a night on Antarctic soil, or rather ice, was a surreal experience. Good morning. Time did stand still on this short overnight trip. Not quite the warm, cozy bed, 5-star hotel sleep I'm pretending it to be, but I definitely got the bragging rights on this one. Another optional activity that was clearly a hit was kayaking. With multiple opportunities to kayak in different spots, it was a rare chance to experience the solitude around nature's inspiring creations. One of the landing sites I was intrigued by was Mikkelsen Harbour, named after a Norwegian whaler, Clarius Mikkelsen, who, unusual for those times, had his wife Caroline accompany him. She then came to be known as the first woman who set foot in Antarctica. I'm at Nikko Harbour in the Antarctic Peninsula, named after a whaling boat from the early 1900s. Now, back in the day, this place used to be a sea of red, as it was a popular hunting site for whales. Fortunately, that doesn't happen anymore, and the only red you're going to see is my warm red Poseidon Expeditions parka. One of the most popular sites in Antarctica is a British-based Port LaCroix, with a museum, a souvenir shop, and the southernmost post office in the world. A tiny piece of land, the only inhabitants during the summer months are 4 women, and I was intrigued by their stories.
Living conditions are quite rudimentary. We don't have any running water, so it's a bit like luxury camping in our Nissan hut.
Let's face it, you're not gonna have too many opportunities to live a decadent lifestyle in Antarctica. But for what was about to come next, I could do with the Lord's blessings in the only permanent Eastern Orthodox church on this continent. The trip so far had been full of mesmerizing experiences, but the most daring one, I'd say, was a polar plunge in the chilly waters of Antarctica. Another day, another place, and my answer to this would have been a hell no. But peer pressure always seems to get the better of me, and I'd like to believe I wasn't the only nervous wreck around. As soon as I dipped in, it was game over. Brain freeze. What followed for a whole bunch of us was a quick dash to the hot tub. One moment we were in minus 1.8 degrees Celsius freezing waters, and the next moment we were living it up in a jacuzzi like it's the Caribbean. The jovial vibe here pretty much summed up our experience on this cruise. In high spirits aboard the Sea Spirit, an adventure that was undoubtedly on top of my bucket list. A trip where you go from being just a traveler to an explorer. It's been an exciting week and a half, and now it's time to get back to Ushuaia. So until next time, hasta la vista.